Well, some sparks were flying today at the bribery trial of former DEA agent Joseph Bongiovanni.
And it was enough to prompt the judge to issue a warning to both sides regarding courtroom decorum. We hear more now in this update from 2 News Side's Dave McKinley.
Scott and Mary Ellis, the judge admonished prosecutors and defense lawyers to keep their smirks, head shaking, and body language to a minimum during witness testimony at this trial, which has gone on for weeks. And where a witness said today that Bongiovanni made a snide remark to him as he waited to testify. That witness was a former partner of Bongiovanni's at the DEA, between whom, as we pointed out last night, there is now no love lost. Retired agent Anthony Casullo finished his testimony, which included an accusation of Bongiovanni once using racial slurs. Bongiovanni's lawyers insist he never said such things and made much of how Casullo didn't report it to superiors until 2 years later, after learning Bongiovanni was under investigation, and they inferred Casullo brought it up to burn his one-time partner turned adversary. Casullo said he didn't report it right away because he thought he'd be shunned by other agents at the DEA offices in the Electric Tower, and testified today that he indeed was, saying at the expense of his family he began taking overnight surveillance duty so I wouldn't have to go into the office. Bongiovanni is also accused of lying to federal agents, which was the focus of much of today's testimony. A former agent with the Office of the Inspector General said in March 2019 Bongiovanni voluntarily came for an interview at the U.S. Attorney's Office downtown, where he was told they wanted to discuss the allegations of racial slurs made by Casullo, which wouldn't have mattered much by then since Bongiovanni was retired, and also his association with Faro's strip club owner Peter Gerace, a co-defendant who will be tried later. He said Bongiovanni described Gerace as more of an acquaintance and certainly not a close friend, but he didn't tell Bongiovanni that they'd already done a forensic dive on Gerace's phone, yielding numerous text messages between the two, planning social outings and trips together. Nor did he mention that admitted drug dealer Ron Serio had already told them he'd been paying Bongiovanni to protect his operation. Just weeks later, agents were kicking in the front door of Bongiovanni's home to execute a search warrant. It's now been almost 5 years to the day of that fateful interview held in this building, which is just steps away from the courthouse where Bongiovanni now stands trial. Of course, as is the case in any trial, the defense is under no obligation to call witnesses or prove anything. We should know perhaps sometimes next week, though, if they will call witnesses, as the judge did tell jurors when they were signed up for their service that he expected the trial to last through Easter, and as we know, Easter is coming a little early this year on March 30th. On your side of the newsroom, Dave McKinley, Channel 2 News.